everyone, my name is Gabriel Hood and welcome to the third review of 2022. This review will be on Out of Time. Out of Time is a 2003 crime thriller starring Denzel Washington and released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Distribution. The film follows the chief of police in a fictional small town in South Florida whose life and professional career are put in jeopardy when he becomes the logical suspect in the arson which presumably led to the murder of a woman he was secretly having an affair with. To make matters worse, his soon-to-be ex-wife, who's also a detective on the police force, is assigned to his case, and because all the evidence points to him, he has to literally race against time to clear his name and get out of a trap that he has set for himself. So let's begin, shall we? The movie begins in the aftermath of a very successful drug bust that led to the confiscation of $485,000 in drug money that was supervised by Chief of Police Matt Lee Whitlock. He is well respected by his peers on the police force and the community at large. And in the perfect world, that would be all you need to know. But his personal life is a sad state of affairs as he is going through a divorce with his wife Alex, who is also a detective on the police force he occupies, and Matt has begun an affair with his high school sweetheart, Anne-Marie Harrison, who is also married, and her husband appears to have a jealous and violent streak. One further complication is that Anne has terminal cancer with only 5 or 6 months to live, and she needs money for her cancer treatment. So Matt, out of compassion, takes that drug money out of his evidence locker to give to Anne so she can pay for her cancer treatment. But as he learns the hard way, no good deed goes unpunished, since one fateful day, Anne's house goes up in flames and he becomes the logical suspect as a witness saw him at the scene of the crime before it happened, and because of their affair and the icing on the cake, he was named the beneficiary of the insurance policy to the tune of $1 million. And if that isn't bad enough, Alex gets assigned to this very case as Anne has supposedly died in the arson. And DA agents are calling in requesting the drug money, and that appeared to have gone up in flames as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what a very unlucky day would look like. Because the odds are pretty much stacked against him, and there's almost no way out of this situation for Matt, especially since in the process he appears to have committed crimes like obstruction of justice and tampering with evidence, along with potentially looking at murder charges. Oh hell no! And as Matt and Alex begin the investigation on their case, it's implied that the reason for their impending divorce is that Alex wanted to expand her detective career in the bigger city of Miami. And Matt feels that it will overshadow his work as chief of police in the very fictional small town of Banyan Key. But during the course of their investigation, Matt finds out for himself that the doctor that diagnosed Anne with the terminal cancer was an imposter, that she never actually had cancer. In a nutshell, he's been set up and played for a fool.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
So that afternoon, after getting into an argument with the DA agents about the missing evidence money, Matt goes in to deal with the imposter doctor and retrieves the evidence money after a very brief struggle, which kills the imposter. And Matt and Alex take a break from their investigation and reflect on their relationship. And it's clear that they still have feelings for each other. But that evening, Alex finds out for herself that Matt and Ann had been in a relationship, which we knew, and that he was named the beneficiary of the insurance policy. And Matt also finds out for himself that Ann and Chris are still alive, and that the dead bodies at the crime scene were stolen corpses from the morgue. So Matt goes in to handle business once and for all. And after Ann kills Chris, after he briefly fought with Matt, it's revealed that Ann orchestrated this chain of events. And Matt is very disturbed by this revelation and tries to talk her down, but Ann was having none of it and proceeds to attempt to kill him. And Alex, after putting all the pieces together, has come to save him. And so she does, by killing Ann, since she was going to kill Matt. And in the middle of all of this, Matt's only real friend, Che, medical examiner, who was mainly there for comic relief, was unable to deliver the evidence money to the DA agents after helping Matt cover his tracks. Eventually, Che arrives with the money to give to the DA agents. And after all of this horrific chain of events, Matt is in the clear. Better yet, Matt and Alex get back together and rejects the money that he was going to collect from the insurance policy. So all in all, Out of Time is a very enjoyable guilty pleasure. It is very suspenseful, and it makes you believe in the desperation of the main character as he races against time to clear his name and stay one step ahead of everyone he's trusted because all the evidence pointed to him. It also has a good amount of comedy relief, mixed in with some brief action, and very elaborate buildup. On the downside though, since our hero is very conflicted and has made a lot of bad judgment calls, while you believe in his desperation to get out of the situation, the problem is, in the film, partly addresses itself partially that he had brought this on himself. And there's one major twist and turn at the end where after all is said and done, he gets let off the hook way too easy after all the chain of events that he put himself through. But other than that, it's a good movie if you're looking for a guilty pleasure. And of course, a grade A performance by Denzel Washington. See you later.